All right, good morning, everyone. It is 46 minutes after 9 o'clock on this 9th of June, 2025. Hello, everyone. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to this edition of Storm Talk, where we have a chance to usually look at storm systems coming our way, but in this case, it's going to be both today. We have one in the area now, not causing too many problems, not expecting it to cause too many problems today, but it's something that would influence your plans if you're going to be out and about. So we'll cover that, and then we'll get into the upcoming weekend, Father's Day weekend, that does feature an active setup. We're kind of stuck in this rut here. It's going to be hard to shake getting out of this thunderstorm pattern, but the weekend looks like will be one that, as I usually say, will be after sacrifice to the weather gods, it looks like, for the weekend. But it's still early. It's still early, you guys, for the time of the year where sometimes we get some surprises. So good surprises, not bad ones. So, and we deserve them. So fingers crossed, things could still change. Meanwhile, take a look. This is live down in E-Town at the moment. Yuck. Yeah. Kind of ominous looking sky for you all. You had that nice shelf cloud that came through, even a double shelf cloud that came across northern part, especially of Hardin County. Now moving through E-Town. Nothing severe noted with this, by the way, but it's just now starting to develop some lightning with it and some heavier rainfall as well as you're traveling up and down 31W. Be aware of that as you're traveling out for like a late morning or a lunch appointment coming up. That will certainly be a thorn in your side for the next little bit. We do have an alert day out because there is a chance to get a few stronger cells that may try to form in this environment today. It is a fairly complex setup, very messy, better way to explain it. We've got the one driver in the seat, the main low pressure itself over the Twin Cities. Pretty typical to find one there in June. But it has a long tail to it here that stretches out right into the Ohio Valley. But at the same time, there's yet another low pressure that is forming along the Gulf states that's kind of hugging the environment. It was a previous boundary that had produced severe weather at one point over the weekend down to the deep south. Now, but because of this odd backwards letter S shape, if you will, on the map, it's not a direct flow and allowing for all the parameters to be lined up where they would need to be a bigger outbreak scenario. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And our area is a perfect example of that. We have a lot more wind shear going on just because of the curl of the low. The wind shear is a little more substantial. Where that could draw near Louisville, that's where your best wind shear is. But there's not a lot of fuel in this area. And it's because they're too far north. The storms down here to the south are blocking a lot of that from getting there. The exception is going to be in the southern part of our line. There actually is enough fuel, but not as much of the shear part. So we have the elements. They're just at different houses right now. They're not all having the one holiday party here. So because of that, this is not a higher potential on the severity side. This is not an upgrade on a category from the Storm Prediction Center. It's just all enough on their own that you can get a warning for their own type, whether it be hail in areas where you have more instability, which would be down to the south, or you can get more wind damage, which would be a little more likely on the northern side. And if they don't line up at all, any of them do in your area, you could get lucky and just get an area of rain and thunder, get a good nap in, and that's all she wrote. And I think that's probably going to be the case in many of these storms here today, but just because we have at least a potential here to get a stronger storm to form, we're going to monitor this all the way through the daylight hours today, especially being in the daylight hours too. That also adds in a mix that we don't get often here. Usually we're dealing with nocturnal storms, so a daytime event can be a little sneaky. You can already see the lightning breaking out more and more into central and southern Kentucky. Again, more fuel there, not as much up here. But we'll break it down by region coming up. Let's start with the categories from the Storm Prediction Center, and they're basically it's the same. Right on the southeast side of the low, you always have to have at least a marginal out this time of the year on that southeast spin, just because of the we'll call it the backed winds. And then you got the front itself, where there is going to be that severe potential. Notice it doesn't start with the slight or the yellow right up against us. It's a category increase of marginal, then to slight, and that's just to account for the heating of the day. They're over us now. They're just now starting to get lightning to them. But once they get into about 3 or 4 o'clock today, they will be able to be in a more mature status, and therefore the severe weather will start to likely pop along that line. That's going to likely put it right on the edge of wave country at that point, and will likely be out of our area by this afternoon. So today's alert day status is a short-lived one. It's not an all evening event, all night, or anything like that. This is only going to be for the next several hours of daylight that we'll have to do to just watch that phasing of them powering up as they make that journey toward I-75. And then more severe weather to the south. When you break them up by category, or tornado threat, not really standing out anywhere. Again, it's a messy scenario here. But damage and wind potential, and most of it's the wind that the storms themselves would make, downburst winds, typical summertime stuff. That's what I'm referring to mostly. Let's zoom in on wave country, and you can see we got a lot of clouds in the area, not a lot of sun today, right? So this is going to be, even here, a limited heating with this high deck of clouds streaming overhead. Still enough. They're going to be able to gain some cape, and already are, and you can already tell the leading edge of the new development. This was a previously severe line of storms that faded out, and it will continue to disintegrate. But the new line, new boss in town, is slowly but surely starting to take over right over Louisville and down toward Grayson County. That looks to be where the line will be today, and then it'll develop more east as the day wears on. Let me get rid of the clouds and just focus on the radar only and take you on a couple spots. We'll begin. Let's see. Where's the first spot I got you? Oh, right in Louisville. Boy, this is really ramped up, right? Even in the time I've walked down the hallway to get ready for you all, this is increased in intensity. Let me stop it right over the area. No lightning strikes. Whoop, there we go. 2 just kicked in. Make sure I got them. Now it's 1. 1 lightning strike. This is right along the Snyder Freeway and Glen Mary, Okolona. Here's the outer loop. Here's Preston Highway, parallel to 65 there. Very slow go. Rush hour coming to an end. Thank goodness. This would have been 90 minutes earlier, would cause big problems, but still there's some traffic on these roads, so be careful. And even I-65 down to Bullitt County in that area. But Highview, Heritage Creek, Okolona, into Fern Creek, dealing with this batch of storms. Nothing severe noted there, just some heavier rain. This is the one you are watching on the camera, the SkyTruck camera down to E-Town. It is now on the eastern side of E-Town. Some of the strongest push of the heaviest of rain and some gusty winds, probably with some of that. We'll look at the wind in a second. And then east of Boston, I feel like I just said these towns, was it Friday? We were dealing with severe weather in the same spots. We're getting to know you guys really well, right? Lightning count here is roughly about 10. So not a lot of intense lightning yet. Let's look at the wind field. And just to make sure they haven't developed that part yet, I don't think they had at this point. Still pretty early. But we'll take a gander. And just to make sure, nope, everything looks good there. And even the wind in Jefferson County, yeah, it's a little pocket here and there where you're going to get, maybe a 25 mile per hour wind gust. Same story near Hillview. Minor stuff here, guys. This is good sleeping weather at the moment. So there's nothing dangerous happening out here right now, guys. This is just your typical shower and thunderstorm activity that is starting to pop on the radar. And we are just the very beginning stages of it. So what I'm watching for as we evolve for the rest of the afternoon is going to be, I would say, close to Henry County, the eastern side of the metro area, east side of Hardin County, all the way down to about Bowling Green. This is the spot between now and, almost 10 until about 4, maybe 5 o'clock. The 4 and the 5 being the later and the more eastern side of the area that we'll be watching to see how much height they can gain and whether or not they can produce any strong wind gust or anything on the flash flooding side as well. That's your main spot to watch. This area of rain behind this is going to shrink in size and disintegrate basically as the new showers and storms ahead of it take over. When that happens, there is a low wind chance. This is pretty normal because the cold front is actually lagging behind this. The cold front's back here. So there is a chance that as these showers here in the middle disintegrate, that at the very last minute today, perhaps even after 5 p.m., that a new, very narrow, broken line of small thunderstorms could form right on that near sunset and then move in and just disintegrate into the nighttime hour there. They are typically low top, but they can produce lightning. So if you still have plans this evening to have, grill out with the family on the porch after this rain eases back today, or you're going to take a walk around the dog, or the dog, taking the dog, walking around the neighborhood. It's been a Monday. I want you to be aware that last little gasp of the actual front could have some low top lightning makers with that. It doesn't always happen, but it is a scenario that does play out often here. So this is not a big setup here for anything severe. It's just one cautionary, just to make sure you guys are paying careful attention today and make sure you have a way to get alerts. What questions can I ask on this? Devin, how are you? I'm good. How are you, Devin? Golf at 3 in E-Town. Golf at 3. Well, lightning's as you know, that's your thorn. It gotta be, don't want to become a lightning rod. Right now, the lightning radius is too close to you. Obviously, it's only 10 or actually almost 9 o'clock for you all. But once you get this line to the east, this line disintegrates, I think you'll be in good shape at 3. Just be aware of what that narrow line to the west, if it tries to redevelop later today, that may have some lightning with it. But you got time because this has to all disintegrate first west of you in E-Town. It has to fall apart. The clouds have to disperse. Going to get a little bit of sun. And then they try to form. That whole process could take up to 6 hours. So you could get lucky and get a game in without any issues. But obviously right now, I would wait. But if you're going to wait at 3 o'clock, I think we'll be all right. Let's see. Good morning. The weather is really giving me lazy Monday vibes. I don't want to get out of bed. I think that's what I'm feeling too. I think everyone's been feeling that way about lately, just in general. I've had a tough time getting out of bed. I've had so much to get done lately, but it's just been a struggle lately to get anywhere. I don't know if anyone else has been feeling that way. Maybe the cicadas are giving us something and we don't know about it. Maybe they're doing some kind of Jedi mind trick on us that just makes us just feel like we have zero energy. I know I'm not sick, but it just, it's one of those feelings like you just can't get anything accomplished. I hate that feeling. Maybe it is the weather. Maybe we're tired of all this. Let's see. Felicia, how you doing? Out as Mount Washington look throughout the day. You'll get, we're going to get some rain here shortly. Rain, thunder coming your way in the next 10 minutes or so. But I don't think you'll have anything to worry about on the severe side. really on the severe side of things today, guys. I think at the moment, if I had to outline again, it's going to be roughly through parts of Henry County, Shelby. I don't think I'd even include Louisville, to be honest. LaRue, Warren County, and then all the way up through the capital again. This is the spot. If there's going to be anything severe that will try to form today, it's going to be roughly in that area wave country, and even that may be generous. It has an even better potential to cause issues once you overlap it with this area, which would include mainly Adair, but line it up more into the Lexington zone. They'll just be at a more prime time of heat today. But notice the line is a bit tilted too, so that's why it's hard to draw a time frame. It's got kind of a curve to it there. From Cincinnati, kind of curves all the way down to Bowling Green at a slant. So that's the reason why those of you that are typically exposed to storms later than others, like Greene, Taylor, and Adair, and Hart County, you would be included in that severe risk. For a majority of our counties in wave country, I think you're the most likely. If you're going to get warnings today, it would be there. Everywhere else, highly doubtful. Just heavy rain and lightning at times. And we talked about some good sleeping weather. Not a huge indicator so far in hail today, but I wouldn't rule it out. Some of those bigger ones in our southern counties. Right now, though, again, there's the radar live. 3 lightning strikes in that scope in the past 10 minutes. And again, look how fast that blew up. Let me rewind the radar up. Go all the way back to, let's go to 9:26 this morning. Here we go, 9:36. Just now starting to see a little bit of some blips, as I say, on the radar around the Jefferson Memorial Forest. And then you got the Okolona, started to blow up, continues to expand, and now it's right over the Fern Creek area, Seatonville Road, Bardson Road, Glen Mary. Ooh, what a mess traveling through there, all that construction work. So, yeah, it's slow go on travel, guys. So be patient with the roads and everybody on the roads today. Okay, so let's show you what's going to happen with Futurecast, and we'll move on to what is next. I'm not going to keep you too long today. It's a pretty easy one. Here is Futurecast showing the fuel, again, in advance of it. Notice the gold is a little more prevalent on the southern end of the cell, where I mentioned earlier the Cape is going to be higher today on the southern part versus it on the northern part. They get better shear, but they don't have the better fuel. And when they are not stacked on top of each other, you don't end up with a wild severe weather outbreak scenario. When they're disjointed like that, you get strong storms, but they have their limits to them. When they're all stacked up with all those ingredients, then those are the more active alert days that we get. Things become a problem. Today is not one of those days. All right, that will continue to move off to the east, so we'll continue to calm things down through 1 o'clock here in Louisville. And you see that little bit of Cape right there, because, again, the front hasn't cleared through. So the Cape tries to rebuild last minute around Louisville. And that's where you could get those real small baby thunderstorms that may form at sunset. Minor stuff. Otherwise, areas that get rain today, which is going to be a lot of you, fog will start to develop. So it may start off foggy tomorrow. And then we get into some quiet weather. What are we going to do with ourselves as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday? Majority of Thursday looks quiet, but then we get toward a late Thursday night into Friday. Then we've got a mess again. Slow moving low pressures, our favorite thing, drifting again back into the Ohio Valley, starting from roughly the southern Mississippi Valley, and just slowly working their way through the Ohio Valley for about a 3-day journey, which we've seen so many times this season. These low pressures just don't, there's no hurry. All right, so this one will be arriving at some point late Thursday and Friday. We're working on the timing still. Most of them will be powered up for daytime heating, not so much nighttime storms. So I think a lot of this is going to be daytime. Here we are at 11 o'clock on Sunday, Father's Day. Don't panic. This model tends to overestimate on rainfall. So I got a feeling once high res can see this, we should have a little more focused look of what that will look like there for heavier rain. And then as we continue on from there, we'll begin to calm things down just a bit more. All right, let's see. What about the CSU maps? You guys love looking at those. Let's bring that up. All right, and their outlook, breaking it all down. Here is, let's see, it's Wednesday, Thursday. We're fine here. So we're fine here, fine here. Friday, not even anything listed here in the top right. So just pay attention to the bottom row only. And there's your outlook. A very low and severe risk on Saturday. does grow into a widespread, at least low-end risk on Sunday and same on Monday. So what will likely happen, and my pen's a different color again, so hold on. I'm going to keep changing this. What we may evolve to, story to know for sure, but if we end up with a strong ridge here into the plains, what may end up happening is we're going to get several, we call these MCSs, or a complex of storms, going to be diving down from Minnesota right into the Ohio Valley. And that pattern may get established, and that may take us all the way to the end of June. If that's the case, they're easier to time out, but boy, they can really mess up outdoor plans because they can be nocturnal as well. So, and really mess up timing in general. But that may be the pattern this may evolve into as we head into mid-June. Not sold on it completely yet, but I've been seeing hints of it for about a week to 10 days. And CSU is starting to see something like that as well. So I don't think it's something we can ignore. Just stay tuned. But we're going to get some quiet days here, guys. Here's your entire 10-day featuring the stormy weather today. Beautiful weather for a couple of days. It is going to warm up. And yeah, well, I mean, it's just going to get a little bit more on the hot side. I don't think we'll hit 90 again. I think we'll likely fall short of that. And then we get into the stormier setup that'll take us into the Father's Day weekend. And let's just see what happens for the following week. If that northwest flow sets up, then we may have to deal with storms on a near daily basis, but they will not be all-day storm threats, not washout scenarios. They'll only be just a few hours of the day that we'll have to prepare for storms. The rest of the day will maybe good. So it can be a mix of good and bad news when you get into the season with MCSs. Why does everyone in Minnesota have to mess everything up? Hey, I hear you. I'm tired of the rain. Me too. No, Ashley, me too. I am trying my best. I'm in the middle of a big project, huge project that I've been trying to work on now for 3 months. And I can't, the weather is not cooperating at all, as I'm sure you all feel the pain. And I will be glad to show you the end project when I'm done with it, but I can't get to different phases. This week, I may actually get to a separate phase I'm excited about, and maybe I can and show you all some hints to it all. But unfortunately, it's just kind of, the weather's not a fan for any of us. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to hit there for now. Appreciate you all as always. And again, I'll have more coming up on midday today. And just stay weather aware, especially in our southern and southeast sections today, wave country. That's the main spot to watch for any warnings that could get issued later on. Otherwise, the rest of us will have just some general rain. And then we get all a chance to relax for a couple of days coming up. All right, take care, guys. I'll see you coming up on the flip side.